of town, shrouded in mist, even on the clearest of days. Its towering structure loomed over the neighborhood like a silent sentinel, its windows boarded up and its once grand facade marred by time and neglect. For years, the locals whispered of strange happenings within its walls, whispers that echoed through the streets whenever darkness fell. When the Morgan family moved into the Garrison house, they were captivated by its old-world charm despite its eerie reputation. Mark, an architect, saw it as a restoration project, a chance to breathe life back into a piece of history. His wife, Sarah, an artist, envisioned the house as a muse, a place where her creativity could thrive. Their daughter Emily, just 8 years old, saw it as an adventure waiting to unfold. On their first night in the house, a chill settled in the air as they unpacked boxes in the dimly lit foyer. Sarah's footsteps echoed on the creaking floorboards, and she shivered despite herself. Emily, wide-eyed with excitement, darted from room to room, claiming corners and alcoves as her own. As weeks passed, the Morgan family settled into their new home, yet unsettling occurrences soon followed. Sarah would wake in the dead of night to the sound of faint whispers, indistinguishable murmurs that seemed to emanate from the very walls themselves. Mark, preoccupied with his renovations, dismissed Sarah's concerns as mere echoes of an old house settling. But as days turned into weeks, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. Emily, usually bubbly and full of life, began to withdraw, speaking less and less, her once bright eyes dimming with an unspoken fear. Sarah noticed the change first, the way their daughter would stare into the distance, as if listening to something only she could hear. One stormy night, as rain lashed against the windows and lightning illuminated the sky, Sarah found Emily sitting in the attic, her small frame huddled in the corner. Tears streaked down her cheeks, and she clutched a worn-out teddy bear tightly to her chest. "What's wrong, sweetheart?" Sarah knelt beside her, brushing strands of damp hair from Emily's face. "They won't stop," Emily whispered, her voice barely audible over the raging storm. "The whispers, they won't stop talking to me." Sarah's heart clenched with unease, but before she could respond, a crash echoed from the hallway below. Mark's voice called out, sharp with concern. Sarah hurried downstairs, finding Mark standing in the foyer, a look of bewilderment on his face. "I heard it too," he admitted, his brow furrowed. The whispers. That night they gathered in the living room, huddled together as a family. Mark's hands shook as he poured them each a glass of wine, trying to calm their nerves. "We need to leave," Sarah whispered, her voice trembling. "This house it's not right."
Mark hesitated, torn between his desire to restore the house and protect his family. But as the storm raged on outside, and the whispers grew louder still, he knew they couldn't stay. Following morning, they packed their belongings hastily, leaving behind the unfinished renovations and the memories that haunted them. Sarah and Mark thought they had escaped the clutches of the Garrison house. The echoes of that night followed them wherever they went. Years passed, and the Morgan family tried to move on, burying the memories of the haunted house deep within their minds. Emily, now a young woman, pursued her dreams in a distant city, her childhood fears relegated to forgotten corners of her mind. But one night, as Emily sat alone in her apartment, familiar chills settled in the air. The whispers returned, faint at first, then growing stronger with each passing moment. She could almost make out the words. Chorus of voices pleading, calling out to her from beyond. Terrified, Emily reached for her phone, dialing her parents' number with trembling hands. When Sarah answered, her voice cracked with fear as Emily relayed the haunting truth. The whispers had never left them. They had followed Emily, clinging to her like a ghostly shadow, refusing to be silenced. The Morgan family reunited that night, bound by a shared terror that defied explanation. Together, they confronted the echoes of their past, seeking answers that remained elusive. As they delved deeper into the history of the Garrison house, they uncovered tales of tragedy and loss, stories of souls trapped within its walls, their voices yearning to be heard. In the end, the Morgan family found solace in each other, their bond strengthened by the trials they had endured. They never returned to the Garrison house, leaving its secrets to fade into obscurity. Yet, on stormy nights, when the wind howls through the trees, they can still hear the whispers echoing in the darkness, a reminder of the haunted house and the family who dared to call it home.